Knicks and Nets in action tonight, and unfortunately, both teams dropped their games tonight. And I wanted to talk to one of our best writers of the New York Post, Bryan Fonseca. Bryan, how you doing, man?
Doing better than both New York basketball teams.
Let's talk about
That was the
yeah.
layup answer. That was the layup
Let's
answer.
let's let's talk about it, man. So let's start with the Brooklyn Nets, the fresher game here. The Brooklyn Nets dropped their fifth straight game tonight versus the Cleveland Cavaliers at home. It was in brutal fashion in the final seconds. What were your takeaways from that game tonight?
Oh, they squandered an 8-point lead with just over 2 minutes to go. And they allowed a 12-2 run to close out that game. The turnover at midcourt where Donovan Mitchell gets the ball, winds up with the ball rather, and then draws the foul, is able to get to the free throw line, makes one, misses the second, and then of all people to lose to Isaac Okoro hitting a corner three, who, the narrative around him and three-pointers hasn't been favorable towards him. But look, that's a bad loss for the Nets. They lose back-to-back home games to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And now we're going to get to this a little bit later. You're facing a situation where the Nets are in the play-in. You're facing a situation where the team that they're jockeying for position with, the Miami Heat, they're going to have to play them on Saturday. And that's going to be very tough because the Heat are one of only 5 or 6 teams in the league at the time we're recording this, who have won 7 of their last 10 games, at least. They've been playing a lot better. We're going to talk about the Knicks. They just beat the Knicks. And right now with the Nets, the free fall sort of continues as expected, unfortunately. And it looks like they're going to be in the play-in when all is said and done, unless things change semi-dramatically within this last, few weeks or so.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the late blown lead, the Donovan Mitchell missed free throw, getting the rebound. It was not pretty if you're a Nets fan watching how that end of that game unfolded, unfortunately. And then let's transition over to the New York Knicks, who are down in Orlando, playing them back-to-back nights. And this was a pretty ugly one for Knicks fans. I mean, Jalen Brunson was out tonight, obviously, and Julius Randle looked frustrated going into halftime, got teed up, had a little bit of a scuffle, if you want to call it, with IQ. And it seems to be a little bit worrisome seeing how this Knicks team is playing both defensively and with Julius Randle. What were your takeaways from tonight?
Julius Randle shot 7 of 20, and it felt worse. He did not have a good game against the Heat the night before either. So this is the point where you need guys to actually go in the opposite direction, kind of like what Jimmy Butler's doing, to refer to the Heat again, where he's turning it up. Around this time of year, Julius Randle, like right now, he's been struggling a little bit, at least these last couple of games. Let's be serious, though. He just almost had 60 points against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The thing is, they lost that game, right?
Right.
Ultimately, you just got to put wins together at this point of the season, however you do it. It's tough to beat the Heat in Miami, and it's tough to beat Orlando on the second of a back-to-back. In Orlando, this is a team that's not very good by NBA standards, but is young, is feisty, and is one of these teams who's going to be better next year. So they're sort of getting in that rhythm now of like, we're going to end the year strong and play spoiler. And the Knicks, we're on the bad side of that tonight. And I think with the Knicks overall, you want to at least hold on to that 5 seed and play the Cleveland Cavaliers. Don't know if they're going to win that series, but I give them a chance. It's a better matchup. They can play that playoff style basketball with Tom Thibodeau in a way that I think that they couldn't a couple of years ago against the Atlanta Hawks. I think now they have more experience and they're able to do that. You don't want to fall to the 6th seed and have the Heat pass you, because then you're looking at the Boston Celtics or Philadelphia 76ers. And while that may be more entertaining for us from a rivalry perspective locally here, playing the Cavs is what you want if you're a Knicks fan. And right now, you're in line to do that, but you have to get enough wins in order to stay in that top 5 in the Eastern Conference.
So let's wrap all this up with the Eastern Conference. Obviously, things are tightening up here. We're getting towards the end of the season as things start to take shape. And you look at how that 5, 6, 7 is playing out right now. Currently, after tonight's results, you see the Knicks in the 5 seed dropping 3 straight. Yeah, the Miami Heat, we're going to play the Brooklyn Nets this Saturday, like you said. And then you have the Brooklyn Nets, who just lost their 5th in a row, now in the play-in at the 7th seed. Ultimately, when you look at how this is going to play out, where do you see these teams finishing up in the standings?
Well, the Heat have been playing better basketball than the other 2 teams as of late. The Heat also play the Knicks Wednesday at Madison Square Garden. So we're going to see these teams again, right? And they've had 2 very close matchups just this month alone, right? Right now, what we're looking at is probably the Heat, I think, are the team that could still reach the highest level if they're all focused and their role players are clicking. That has not been the case all year, which is why they're in this position that they're in, right? The Knicks have been the better team all season long, but I think behind Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Hero, who's been big in fourth quarters, even though he's been up and down this year to say the least, they have a level that they can get to that I'm not sure the other two teams. I definitely know the Nets can't. I'm not sure the Knicks can get there either, even at their best. But I think that game on Wednesday between the Heat and the Knicks is absolutely critical for both teams. And you saw what Jimmy Butler was doing last game that they played yesterday, where Jimmy Butler was MFing the sidelines, cursing out everybody, going at Julius Randle, telling everyone on the Knicks that they're too small to guard him. And the Knicks have to try to respond to that. Are they going to be capable of doing that? Are they going to be able to do that in a controlled manner? Julius Randle lost his cool in that game, lost his cool against the Orlando Magic. He's the guy that you could get under his skin. And Jimmy Butler evidently did that. Bam Adebayo as well on the defensive end, who, other than that one game Julius Randle went off against the Miami Heat earlier this year, does not play well against Bam Adebayo. Julius Randle does not play well against him offensively. So we'll see what happens on Wednesday night. And then obviously you circle on the calendar Saturday because you have the Nets and the Miami Heat. And the Nets need to win that game to prevent a free fall, but I'm not sure that they're going to be able to do that.
Well, it's going to be fascinating to see how this all plays out the rest of the season. Again, Knicks and Nets both dropped their games tonight. Bryan, appreciate you as always, man.
Absolutely. Anytime.